Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Scotty B Show. Today's story is Supreme Court rules unanimously against time limits on combat related disability pay. This is by Patricia Kime. Hope I pronounced that right. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously Thursday against the federal government in a class action suit over combat related special compensation, paving the way for an estimated 9,000 retired service members to receive thousands of dollars in retroactive pay. In a 9-0 ruling, the justices said that a law the government applied to limit retroactive pay to 6 years did not apply in the case of a Marine corporal who sought combat related disability pay. Simon Soto enlisted in the Marine Corps in August 2000 and served 2 tours in Iraq in mortuary affairs. He developed post traumatic stress disorder as a result of his job and medically retired in 2006. In 2009, he was awarded disability compensation for his medical condition by the Department of Veterans Affairs. And in 2016, he applied for combat related special compensation, pay that is awarded to some service members who retire as a result of service connected medical conditions. He was approved, and his pay was backdated to July 2010 based on the interpretation of a law known as the Barring Act, which requires veterans to file compensation claims within 6 years of receiving a VA disability ratings decision. Attorneys for the government argued that Congress established a 6 year deadline for the submission of claims and said combat related special compensation decisions also should be limited by 6 years. But the U.S. Supreme Court disagreed, saying the law regarding combat related special compensation displaces the Barring Act's 6 year time limit, so the Barring Act did not apply. The federal court erred by imposing undue requirements on Congress's ability to confer settlement authority and by disregarding the combat related special compensation statute's plain text, wrote Justice Clarence Thomas in the opinion. The decision means that Soto should receive 2 more years' worth of payments dated to January 2008, when Congress extended the combat compensation to medically retired members who served fewer than 20 years. At least 9,000 service members also may be entitled to additional retroactive pay. Class members in the Soto case include veterans who are owed up to $10,000 in back pay. Members in a separate case, Page versus USA, include those owed more than $10,000. The Page case was placed on hold pending the decision on the Soto case. The case was represented by Sidley Austin, LLP, on a pro bono basis and the National Veterans Legal Services Program. During an interview with Military.com, Renee Burbank, Director of Litigations at National Veterans Legal Service Program, said the financial impact of the decision is not yet known, given the variety of cases and application dates for the benefit. No retired service member can receive retroactive pay before the passage of the 2008 law, however. If you do a back of the envelope estimate, if the average amount of money each class member was entitled to is $5,000, then let's say there's about 10,000 people in both classes at this point, because obviously time has moved on, and that's about $50 million, Burbank said. It's not huge for the government, but it's meaningful for the class members. The Supreme Court has made several significant rulings regarding veterans' benefits in the past 2 years, notably in a case that awarded veterans who served separate stints in the U.S. military additional education benefits based on their service under separate GI bills. The decision in Rudisil versus McDonough may have affected up to 1.7 million veterans. Two officers who would benefit from the decision have sued the Department of Veteran Affairs. however, saying that the VA is improperly denying benefits and delaying payments. Burbank said the unanimous decision by the Supreme Court in the Soto case sends a clear message that veterans who qualify for additional retroactive combat related special compensation should receive it without question. There is not wiggle room for the government to say, well, actually, here's why these folks don't get paid. And also, because it's a class action, this relief should be going directly to all the class members. It's not one case, Burbank said. Well, I hope that's some good information for you guys that are involved in this some way or another, or thinking about getting involved in this one way or another. I hope it's helpful. Look it up. Y'all have a great day, great night, whatever the case may be. We'll see you next time on the Scotty B Show.